Ah.
All right, Gecko. What have you been up to?
Oh, that, not saving our previous recording on After.
Yes, this will be a redoing of some of After Party because we forgot to save.
But the glories of recording.
Yes. Definitely the first time we've ever done this. Anyways, what have you been up to these days?
Well, I feel like I've already said this, Well, not much other than the fact of 3D animating.
Yep.
But I do have some other stuff about it. Not too bad, completed 4 projects
Okay.
and working on a new project. And I just got some new lessons to listen to watch and learn from, making a tiki man or tiki shaman or something like that.
Yeah.
Really cool. I'm really excited to make my first person in 3D modeling. So
that will be cool.
I'm gonna learn a lot of new stuff in this one. So other than that, not much. Just been watching shows and being disappointed in a lot of shows and stuff like that. What about you?
Not too much either. It's been warm here, so got out and played some disc golf.
Disc golf news.
Nothing really to talk about. Disc golf on the pro scene. They haven't had a big tournament for a while, but they'll have one this weekend.
All right.
Anyways, I got out and played some good rounds. It's been windy too, so that's been interesting. Yeah, not much besides that. I actually went and watched a couple of live plays.
Well, how was that?
Those were fantastic. I saw Much Ado About Nothing, which is one of my favorites, Shakespeare's, and it was fantastic. And then I went and saw Cinderella, and that was really well done as well.
Really?
Yep, all the actors are fantastic in that one. But Much Ado About Nothing was just so fun. But I do have some rumors to talk about.
I have not really any rumors to talk about.
Yeah, not too much, but I do want to talk about one that I'm super excited for. Less excited than I was last time I said this.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I already know what he's going to say.
Yes. So let's back up here a little bit.
How far do we want to back up?
Show how this rumor came about. So Kevin Feige, because this is interesting to me, said that he was not happy with how Multiverse of Madness showed a lot of the cameos that were going to happen and stuff, and
what
in the trailer, and so he basically said that in the upcoming movies he's going to really make sure that they don't give away nearly as much. And so people have speculated of what that could mean for Love and Thunder, since we haven't seen much of the villain, of course, but we did see the villain, and we did see that Zeus is played by Russell Crowe. He's like, what other cameos could there be? Well, then there was a tweet put out, and this little rumor started that a actor was going to be in a upcoming Marvel movie that is a very big actor in a very popular TV show, or from a very popular TV show. And that immediately started Marvel fans doing fan art and stuff of Cillian Murphy as Dr. Doom.
Oh my goodness, it's like the first time I'm hearing of this.
And Cillian Murphy is one of my favorite actors. And I think he can literally play any role, but him as Dr. Doom just totally fits for me. He's so good at playing villains, as we've seen in the Dark Knight trilogy. He's so good at playing the manipulative type villains, and playing somebody who's super powerful like Doctor Doom, and just so menacing. I think he could knock that out of the park. Why I think that possibly isn't the case is the fact that he's playing lead in Christopher Nolan's upcoming movie Oppenheimer that comes out next July, I think July 27th. So that's makes me think that either any cameos he is doing in upcoming things is tiny, where he didn't have to do much shooting since he's in the middle of shooting that movie, and then On top of that, that would mean that Fantastic Four movie's not going to be coming out. It won't be able to start shooting till next spring at the earliest, so it won't be coming out till in 2023. So it wouldn't take that last spot, or 2024. So it wouldn't take that last spot in 2023, which means that Deadpool 3 would probably take that spot. As I have mentioned before, I think that's probably it. Anyways, but the other actress who people have rumored could be this popular or from a popular TV show is Lena Headey, who the TV show they'd be talking about is Game of Thrones. I'm sure you all know that she was in that, but she also has played in so many movies and like lead roles in a lot of very popular movies. I mean, she got started way back. 300 was her first big role, but she's played the lead role in so many movies that like I don't necessarily see her as a TV show actress, but I could see how people would say that about her since that might be her most famous role. People don't know exactly who she would play. Yes, they have done cameos. I mean, they're having Russell Crowe, who's a very popular actor, play Zeus and probably die off. But I would think she would want to play somebody who is going to act in more than one movie. So I don't think would be playing a god or something in Thor: Love and Thunder. But she could be, cameoing as. I mean, we got Clea.
Yeah.
Think of who she could cameo as in like a Thor movie. We've already got Angela, I guess. They're gonna bring in another sister.
Oh my goodness.
I doubt that. Yeah, I don't know who she would play in a Thor movie. But I guess she might be playing. She could maybe play like we're getting into some we'll get into some other rumors here. Wakanda Forever. There's been a lot of rumors that Namor, who we know is the villain, would be the avatar of the Jaguar goddess. Or god. I don't know if it's a god or goddess, but she could, I guess, play that god because that god would probably not die since Wakanda Forever hasn't happened. But actually, it might have already. We don't know exactly the timeline of it.
Yeah.
But that was another thing that Kevin Feige said is he said very soon we're going to understand how like the timeline is all working out. So I think the way Miss Marvel ends and then Thor: Love and Thunder happens, I think we'll understand what is going on when. Something's going to have to mention the Celestial soon, right?
Yeah.
I'm guessing when they go to Pakistan, since that's so close to the Indian Ocean, we'll probably learn whether Celestial has popped out of the Indian Ocean or not.
Yeah.
So we'll probably learn that pretty quickly in Miss Marvel, and so we'll know exactly when Miss Marvel is set. And then Thor: Love and Thunder, with there being Celestials in the movie, I'm sure we'll know when that's set, and so that's probably what he's talking about. And then with, like I've said, with upcoming Marvel stuff, the D23 and San Diego Comic-Con, we're probably going to get a really good idea of when Marvel Phase 5 will start and all that.
Okay.
So that's some stuff.
Yeah. Real fast. I do want to talk about a little something about some Star Wars here. So this is actually some new news that I have for us all.
New news.
It is actually the whole release order of the Star Wars shows, and I was completely wrong about a lot of stuff. So after Obi-Wan Kenobi, which finished not that long ago, we have Andor, which is coming August 31st. Then we have, after that, Tales of the Jedi, the animated show, coming in fall. And then Bad Batch Season 2 coming in fall. Mandalorian Season 3 coming in February.
Okay.
And then after that, we have Young Jedi Adventures. Apparently, first time I'm hearing of this show, so I really need to keep myself updated on this stuff. And then that's coming out in spring. And then Star Wars Visions Volume 2 coming out in spring.
Okay.
So a lot of stuff coming out, coming out in a completely different order than I was expecting. Then we have the Ahsoka show, which doesn't have a confirmed part of the year.
But we know it's 2023.
Yep.
Okay.
And it is right now. It's saying it's going to be the last thing out of all the
Do we have a
stuff.
date on Andor?
Andor, I've said it, and you just don't care to
The
listen.
day. I heard the month. What day?
31st.
Okay. That's pretty soon.
Yeah, very soon. Which is kind of interesting because
I heard some people today talking about Andor.
do I need to be sad?
No, they didn't spoil anything. I was like trying not to listen, but I was like, I kind of want to go talk. Have a little, be like, hey, have you heard of the podcast Back and Forth?
Yeah,
But I didn't because I didn't want to get in a conversation about something that I'm not supposed to know. Anyways, that's cool. That's cool. I don't know. Yeah, I am excited for Andor for sure. See the rise of the rebellion, but
yeah,
I am definitely nervous for it, especially after Obi-Wan. It's like,
yeah.
if you can't just make a good story, like why should I care? But
It's gonna be a scary show. I do like so far the trailer has shown a very interesting premise to the show. Like,
all right,
so it's gonna be interesting. I'm hoping it's a good show.
maybe we'll hop out Andor here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Another Marvel thing I want to talk about is today, the day we are recording this, is the world premiere of Thor: Love and Thunder. So some people are getting to watch it today. I mentioned that yesterday, I think. So,
So why aren't we there?
we're not important enough yet. Maybe someday. So they did release some footage and new footage and stuff. The only thing I want to talk about it, we'll break it down a little bit more next week, and as we're leading into going to watch Thor: Love and Thunder. But I do want to talk about the fact that we saw, because I've mentioned this earlier, we saw Celestials in it.
Oh,
So I think they're so Celestials aren't actually gods.
but are they
They're just very powerful beings.
okay?
But I think because they seem to be at this like congregation of gods that's happening, I think they're kind of combining them with gods. And then it seems that they're also combining Olympus and what's called Omnipotent City in the comics. I'm not 100% sure if they're two separate places. I can't really tell by the trailers, but they go to this place where they meet Zeus and whatnot and all these gods. But then they also go to this place where there's statues of like the gods of gods. Like that's where like you see these statues of eternity and
Oh my goodness!
or infinity. We actually don't see eternity, but we see infinity,
Tribunal?
and living tribunal, and the Watcher, and all these that Lady Death. But there's statues. So that in the comics where those statues are, there's this place. It's the library of, or I don't know if it's called the library, but it's like the place where history's kept in Omnipotent City. And it seems to be a very similar place.
Okay.
Since we see the Celestials, that definitely goes into what I'm thinking is that we will very much know when this timeline is, when this falls in the timeline. The other thing that this showed that I want to mention is I think we definitely know how the movie's going to start, and I'll get into that more next week. But do you have any Star Wars stuff to talk
so
about?
much stuff. It wasn't even so. I rewatched the Andor trailer,
Yep.
and nothing too new really popped out. But then I decided to rewatch the Tales of the Jedi trailer. A lot of stuff happened in that trailer that I didn't catch before.
Okay.
Now, here's my theories, though. I think we're going to get a first look at possibly Revan, a Jedi who's not canon.
Okay.
And if it is Revan, then I'm really excited. But at the same time, it could not be Revan because they have a different look for him if it is Revan.
Okay.
But then I also have this theory that it's actually not going to be different stories for every episode. I think it'll be a
Well, do you think it might be something like What If was, where it's like different stories, but they all
I don't
also
know.
tell
like, there's a very good chance that it could be that, but there's just so many things that happens in the trailer that
so you
make
do
me
think there'll be like characters that run throughout multiple episodes and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, like it just doesn't make sense to me about a couple things because there's just characters we see that shouldn't be at the same time as some other that shouldn't be in this place at the time of some other characters.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if it's going to be like an overarching story, and we're just going to be going kind of like to the future, to the past, to the past, future, all that stuff. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Which I'm excited is going to be 6 episodes only. So I don't know. I don't know.
All right. Anything else?
I feel like I have something else. No, I do not.
Okay. Since we still have a little bit of time left, there's a little something I wanted to talk about.
Oh dear.
So, since you're a Star Wars fan, I was thinking that you could tell everybody how you would have changed Obi-Wan Kenobi.
How I would have changed,
or like what you wanted from the show.
Oh, that is a good question. Well, first off, we have to change Leia.
Yeah,
like Leia should not be like that.
Yeah, I think like there's definitely like, have good characters. You can change it. But like, what story wise? Like, what story did you want to tell?
Man. Okay, so my outlook on the show before watching it, before going into it, I wanted Darth Vader and Obi-Wan never to meet.
Yeah.
We got some really cool stuff in the show, and we got some really cool fight scenes between the two. As well as the whole breaking of the mask. You see Anakin, you see Darth Vader and in the flesh, and it's like, whoa. So how I would have done it, man, this is a hard question because...
let me just ask a few questions you can answer them. So, like, for Darth Vader, would you wanted him still pursuing Obi-Wan Kenobi?
That's just
not ever meeting him, or just not to know about him and just the Inquisitors pursuing him?
I think I would have had Darth Vader pursuing Obi-Wan Kenobi. I think having that could really bring out Obi-Wan being this man in hiding who's scared and doesn't actually want to fight Darth Vader. I think that's how I would have had it. Like, Obi-Wan is scared to fight Darth Vader because he realizes this is his apprentice who now seems to become much stronger now.
Yeah.
And it would have shown a broken Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, I think that something that I was like trying to do is like take this character of Obi-Wan and turn him from a character of lost, like a lost Jedi, into, somebody who sees A New Hope, leads into A New Hope and sees that these children are A New Hope. But I think they failed, and I think a lot to do that is the villain. And I think that, Darth Vader was amazing in the show, but I do think, like you're saying, them definitely not meeting at the start, and Darth Vader almost like turning more and more desperate chasing him would have showed that a lot better.
Yeah.
And then on Obi-Wan's side, like you said, you would have liked to see him more scared of facing him. And then they could have, if they would have done it that way, I do think like you would have seen him, so much more leaning into caring for the children. And that would have shown that he then was progressing. And then I don't necessarily care about whether they meet or not in the end, the final episode and whatnot. But yes, I definitely agree with you that we should not have met before that.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. So talking about that, to be honest, I was actually fine with them meeting in the final episode because it was actually like really good. It was a really good way of them to meet and way for Obi-Wan to overcome his fears. But still, you're like, it's a horrible show. Sorry. But how I would have done it is they never met. They never fought. Meet. And I would have had it where Obi-Wan probably takes the time to meditate, and he does contact Qui-Gon. Never had this
That would have been so much better.
Yeah, he does contact Qui-Gon, and Qui-Gon's like, you can't beat him, just
Join him.
Join him. Yes, I'm
the
always with
dark
you.
side.
I've always been with you.
Yeah, that is really cool. Yeah, I do wish we would have gotten some sort of like because he is Anakin Skywalker's master, right?
Yeah.
And he feels like he's failed. And I think like there would have been really cool to have a scene where in like his darkest moment, his master comes and it's like, and I liked that he couldn't contact him at the start, right? Because he was like scared. But once he like reaches that darkest moment and is like ready to come out of that fear and be and what's the word? And move on from the past. That's when like Qui-Gon could be like help him, and that would have been a much more intriguing story in my opinion.
Yeah. Or even in the whole, like, have the same fight scene as it going through, but in the time that Obi-Wan was covered by all those rocks and holding it, Qui-Gon just speaks to him and just
especially because like you could have still had all the flashbacks and everything that they have.
Yeah.
And just like but Qui-Gon's voice there would have been really cool. I mean, Liam Neeson's voice is always reassuring to hear.
I will look for you. I will find you, and I will kill you.
What were your thoughts, and would you change any way that they showed the rebellion?
So, first off, I don't think this is the rebellion.
Or the underground again.
Yeah, more of like this group that's more of a group that's with the Jedi.
Yeah.
Not really a rebellion. But so at first, when we first meet them, I thought they were a very interesting aspect to add into the Star Wars universe, like a group trying to save the Jedi survivors. And so I think it would have been really cool, but they just needed to do them better, in my opinion, have better tunnels.
But like as a whole,
I think they were fine to have in like Obi-Wan meeting this group. I personally would have liked it if we were to add maybe a couple Force sensitive children in with the group. So then Obi-Wan can meet them and be like, hey.
Exactly. I completely agree. I've seen a couple of videos on the episode and like the series and the whole, and read a few articles, and everybody acted like it was obvious that this was like this underground transporting Force sensitive people.
Yeah.
I didn't see a single one. Like there was no proof of literally no proof of that, except I think they say that.
No, they say that, and then you get containers of lightsabers.
Right. And it's like, yeah, that was frustrating.
They also talk about Quinlan Voss being in the group, but we get no sign of him other than his name on a wall.
Yeah.
So
and then the Inquisitors, aside from the way they look, and the terrible character development of them, was there something that you would have changed of them, like as a whole? Like
never finding out about Luke Skywalker.
Well, they don't.
Well, I mean, Reva. I think I would have preferred Reva to die.
Right, I agree.
So I think what should have happened is this. We have this group, and maybe Obi-Wan actually meets them a little sooner than... Oh, no, he meets them pretty soon. So we meet this group, and we seem to be stuck with them pretty well. I think the Inquisitors should have gone after the ship, while Darth Vader goes after Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay.
And the Inquisitors fight, and then Obi-Wan has to defeat Darth Vader and then go save them. Yeah. Which would have called for a more interesting aspect, like say they get shot down on a planet and they're having to run or something, or they take the ship in and Obi-Wan has to fly through space.
One thing that I definitely would have changed with the Inquisitors, and I'm not sure exactly why they didn't do this. You know, I haven't seen all of Rebels, so maybe there was enough about the Inquisitors in there that they didn't want to stay on them very much. Yeah. But like, it was so jumbled, in my opinion, as to who the villains were, right? Yeah, yeah. Like at first they're like this Reva is the villain with these other Inquisitors, and then it was like Darth Vader, and then it was kind of like not Reva and this other Inquisitor and Darth Vader and stuff. And I would have much rather we've talked about Darth Vader, but like with them being, wish they would have been like very much the villains of it, and we would have seen a lot more of how they operate.
Yeah.
Because like we saw this other Inquisitor, and like, what was she up to? Like,
Yeah.
we see her and then she just disappears. We see the other Inquisitor, and he just disappears.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was like, who, what, when, why, how? Like, like you could even explain it away by saying that they're going after other Force sensitive people.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, it seems like there's this network of Inquisitors that does absolutely nothing.
Yeah, yeah. You actually just gave me a thought on that, because if we look at it, I think what would have been much better is if we kept Reva, wanting to get revenge on Darth Vader for killing the younglings. That would have been fine. Just do it a lot better. But we have the other Inquisitors there, and Darth Vader decides not to take his time on her and just say, take her out, and that's how she dies.
Yeah, I agree. I also think that you could have, like, it seems like they're wanting to do a lot more in this time period.
Yeah.
With Andor coming out and Tales of the Jedi. I'm not sure exactly when the other stuff's going to be located in timeline, but it seems like those two will be around the same time.
No, Tales of the Jedi is like happening either in Clone Wars or before.
Well, I'm saying, before Clone Wars. I didn't know, but I was just saying, like, in Clone Wars up until like before New.
Yeah. Okay.
But I didn't know it might be taking place before. Okay, that could be a lot. Okay, but anyways, it seems like they are putting a lot of stuff in this time period before New Hope, I'll say.
Yeah.
And it would have been really nice to set up some villains for that in this show.
Yeah.
And I feel like they fail at that. And they could have very much set up the Inquisitors as like this very large villain base they could pull from, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that would have been much more intriguing. On that note, do you want to see a Obi-Wan season 2?
Absolutely not. I think we've had enough of Obi-Wan. We're done with Obi-Wan, thank goodness, hopefully. We just need to go ahead and focus on other stuff.
Okay.
Like going back to what we said in our main episode, go check it out. Saying that stop building off of, actually, I don't even know if we did say this. Stop building off of things that are already done. Make a new thing.
Agreed.
Like, even if you do want to build off something new. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Even if you do want to build something new, or I mean, even if you do want to build off something that's already been created, do it before the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who would love to know what happens during that time. Do some time in the Mandalorian time. Like, we want to know maybe more characters in the Mandalorian time, because all we know of is the Mandalorian, Bo-Katan, and Ahsoka. I know we're getting an Ahsoka show,
Right?
But that's about it.
Yeah. The one thing I will say to this, like, yeah, I agree. My biggest thing is don't try to fix plot holes
Yeah.
30 years later.
Yeah.
Because literally, a lot of people were excited for the show because it was going to fix plot holes or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it did that whatsoever. And
not the best at all.
It created so many more plot holes.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't fix plot holes 30 years later. Like, you have actors that aren't there. You can't cover every basis you need to.
Yeah.
And then you're going to want to bring in new villains and stuff that, like, yeah, I think Reva should have died.
Mm-hmm.
That would have not left a plot hole, but keeping her alive, there's another, like, where the heck is she? You know?
Exactly.
So, and then that's just like, yeah, that does mean that they probably have to do another season to see, but it's like, you don't do another season to figure out what happens to a villain, right?
Yeah.
You do another season to see what happens to a hero.
Exactly.
And that's just frustrating. So that's my thoughts on it. Anything else you want to talk about?
Other than the fact that I do think a season 2 will come out for Obi-Wan Kenobi, but there's no confirmation yet, so.
Alrighty. Well, we will see you all next week.